Hey, what's up? So what we're going to do today is we're going to work on trying to figure out a good way to block off rain for when we can install garage floors. Obviously, water is a big issue and rain is a big issue. And we're located in North Texas. We get a lot of severe storms. We get a lot of high winds. Rain pops up. You know, it can be last 2 minutes. It can last all day, but any amount of water can screw us up. So we're going to assemble basically a structure that we can set up and take down to be able to do the floors and make sure that they're done correctly in a manner that they're not getting wet at all, but we can still take care of our customers when we have these crazy storms. So we have got PVC pipe and a bunch of other items, and we're going to get started. We'll see how it goes. So this is kind of the rough layout of what we're going to be trying to build. These lines are actually going to wind up being horizontal. The drawing's just off because it's a rough sketch. But what we've done is this first side over here, putting it together. We've got 90 degree T, a T up there. Up here at the top of this T, we've got a 3-inch spacer where we're going to go ahead and put our other 90-degree angle to bring a cross support on. And here, all of our main tubing is 1 1/4 ID. That's 1-inch ID, so it actually slides and fits really nicely inside the sleeve, so we can adjust our height when we put it up to the garage door. For reference so far, we've got the 2 sides made, and of the 2 sides, we've got these pieces were cut at 7 foot 6 inches. These pieces were cut at 6 foot even. We slid on this side, we slid the 1-inch ID inside, pushed it all the way down to the bottom to where it touched, and then add 2.5 inches onto the top. That allows that piece to not get lost inside the tube when we're adjusting it on site. So it's as far down as it possibly can be. It's touching down at the bottom, and then we added 2.5 inches above the T. Down on this end, it's got the 1 1/4 ID sticking out of the top of the T's up there, because that end's going to receive a 90-degree angle on it. Now what Jonathan's working on currently is we are going to make the cross pieces that span the width of the garage door. So we're going to take, he's cutting 4 pieces right now. We're going to have, what are we measuring them out at, Jonathan? 7 foot 9 inches. So we're making 4 7 foot 9 inch cuts to start out with. These guys are going to be similar to what we did here. We're going to have 1 1/4 ID with 1-inch ID, and the 1-inch ID, we're going to have a full piece that goes in between 2 of those pieces to create the main span across the garage door, and that's going to allow us to adjust our width for different size openings. So part of the reason we're working on this project and we're overcomplicating it from the beginning is with most of the houses, most of the garages we run into when we're looking at setting up for wet weather, we've seen some other fantastic ideas out there in different groups. But the problem is a lot of our houses down here don't have soffit and fascia to brace up underneath and create kind of a tent around the house. Most of ours the brick above the garage just continues to go up. And since it continues to go up, we're having to build something that's going to actually fit inside of the opening of the garage door. If we had the other option, it'd be a lot better. But one of what we try to do is, if we're going to make something and we're going to have it work for us, I would prefer to put the time in up front to make sure that it's going to be stable. When the wind blows, it's not going to rip apart and potentially damage any of the customers' belongings or the home. Need to make sure it's not going to collapse while we're in the middle of a job. We just need to make sure that it's going to be secure, but we also need it to be fast and efficient. So we want the time spent up front figuring it out, getting the workability of it. That way, you know, we've made ours design. We're going to be working out of the box truck. We've made ours designed so that each piece, when it's taken apart, it can be assembled quickly and efficiently on site, but also that each piece will easily be able to fit in the back of the box truck. So our tallest piece currently is probably about 6 foot 6 inches tall. So that's given us plenty of room to get it in the box truck. We've got an 8 foot tall box truck, but even in a 6 foot tall trailer, if you had room to kick the sides over, those would be able to slide in and tilt. So that's kind of why we're going with the 1 inch versus something lighter. I didn't want to do it with wood because wood's going to be too heavy. And anyway, we should be able to get enough strength out of this to be able to wrap the plastic around it when we get done, and be able to go ahead and work and protect it and make it to where it's quick and efficient. All right, so Jonathan's putting the 90s on the outside ends. He's got the lengths cut to 7 foot 9 inches. These are the 1 1/4 ID, and that's the 1 inch. And he's gonna slide that 1 inch in between the two poles. This T is going on also so that we can fit a cross brace on to hold the plastic up in the center, to help create the runoff that we're also going to need for the water. All right, so we got everything put together. We're gonna take a look and kind of see how it gets put up. We've had it up all day today. Seems to be working great. It's holding up to the winds, but we'll see how this thing works. All right, so this is the overall look. You can see it's got support running through the middle, it's draining off to the sides, slopes from the top down. We're using 10 foot wide, got a 10 foot wide by 100 foot roll of plastic. See how it's doing right there. Of course, it's not raining right now, so that's always good. But we've got the plastic draped over. It's taped around the edges, taped across the front, taped down on the edges. These buckets are actually full of concrete dust to help weight it down, pin it. And we got a bag of concrete dust on this side, holding down the plastic, keeping it from moving, and pinching the outer leg between the two so it's not shifting side to side. Another bag of concrete dust to help keep it from blowing around. You can see, I don't know if you can see this, up in here, we've got air shims to keep from damaging the house, and also to make this thing adjustable so we can use it on different size openings. So we've got an air shim. See, and this is what we were talking about earlier when we started putting this thing together. We don't have roof cover over a lot of our garages. Now this house happens to be a 3-car garage, but if the rain was coming, then we'd have that one taped off, but it's not raining right now, so we don't have to have it taped off. So in here, We've got 3 zip wall poles. They're latched up into our little T's right there. Got one there, got one right there, got another one up there. That one is angled funky because we had to do some adjustments when we got on site this morning. Had to cut it, make it a little bit shorter. But going through, this is a 1 1/4 ID pole, and going through the center, you can see we've got the bolts and the wing nuts. There's a 1 inch ID going through the middle of that, and it's got a bunch of holes in it. So if we did have to spread them out wider, then we would just spread it out wider, put those back through. That keeps the tension so that the air shims can do their jobs when they're squeezing in from the side, keep everything nice and tight. You can see over here on the side, so we've got the 90 down at the bottom. We've got a T, that's about roughly, we changed it, we started off with it at 6 foot, we changed it so that the runoff would slope down further from the center. But this is also adjustable. You can see we got all the little holes in there to adjust the closest height, and then the air shim to tighten it down so it's not moving around. This will go down to 6'6" opening, and today we've got 8-foot doors, so it's extended up. These little guys were just couplers, just notched them out on the top and on the bottom, put wing nuts through them so we could have hinges. So we got them there, got them at the bottom, and you can probably see better on that side. What that allows to happen is that allows this pole to stay straight in the opening. It allows the tarp or the structure to follow the slope down of the driveway. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so we've got our height adjustment. We've got cross support going across the middle to help with runoff. And this one comes apart here. That's not glued, and it's not glued at the top. So that for transport, this is one loose piece. This header going across here is one loose piece. That end frame is one piece. That end frame is one piece. And then the header going across this side is one piece. So realistically, taking it apart and putting it back together worked out pretty well as far as it being quick. Again, we've got it anchored down on this side with another bucket that's full of concrete dust, and 2 bags that have concrete dust to hold it down on this side. The wind is real calm right now, but like I said, it's been picking up off and on all day, and it's been doing a good job. It hadn't blown away, hadn't been scary. Obviously, we got a couple of spots that I'm sure people notice, oh, that's gonna gather water. Yeah, it would, but depending on how you drape it, or you walk underneath it, if it's gathering too much water, pick it up, make your adjustments on the fly. But oh, I guess we should go look at the inside here. Look at that, Silver Creek. So anyway, what we're working off of is, like I'll show you on this side, on the inside of the garage, you know, you've got a lot of times this wood is all raw, so we're attaching to that wood so that we're not damaging any paint or any sheetrock. So it's hard to tell because of the lighting, but it's taped off there. So when the water comes down the house, even if it curves and comes back this way, it's gonna hit and it's gonna shed down the plastic, not come inside. So that's it. Hope you guys got something out of this. Yeah, that's our new toy. Just take it apart. We got right side, left side, cross brace, and the front and back side braces or cross braces. That's it.